Here is a fact that may completely reshape the way you think about aging. In Okinawa, Japan, there are more people living past the age of 100 per capita than anywhere else on Earth. But what makes this truly astonishing is not just how long they live, it is how well they live. These elderly Japanese men and women are not merely surviving into old age, they are thriving well beyond it. They climb stairs without holding railings. They kneel in their gardens and stand back up with ease. They walk miles every single day without canes, walkers, or assistants. Meanwhile, in Western countries, nearly 40% of adults over the age of 65 struggle to rise from a chair without using their arms. This stark contrast raises an important question. What are the Japanese doing differently? The answer lies in 6 specific movements that have been practiced in Japan for generations. These are not trendy workouts or modern fitness fads. They are simple, functional exercises rooted in daily life. And the science behind them is nothing short of remarkable. A landmark study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy followed more than 3,000 Japanese adults between the ages of 60 and 85. Researchers discovered that participants who regularly practiced traditional Japanese leg strengthening movements experienced a 112% improvement in lower limb muscle strength in just 18 months. That is more than double their starting strength. Even more impressive, these individuals reduced their risk of falling by 67% compared to those who did not perform the exercises. Another study from Tokyo Metropolitan University explored why Japanese seniors preserve mobility for so much longer than their Western counterparts. The findings were eye-opening. Traditional Japanese movements activate deep muscle fibers that standard Western exercise programs often fail to engage. These muscles are not the surface muscles you can see in the mirror. They are the deep stabilizing muscles responsible for balance, coordination, and functional movement. What makes this even more extraordinary is how accessible these exercises are. They require no gym membership, no expensive equipment. Most of them take less than 10 minutes per day. They can be performed in your living room, even while watching television. The Japanese have understood the value of these movements for centuries. Western science is only now beginning to catch up. Today, I'm going to share all 6 of these exercises with you, ranked from helpful to absolutely essential. But before we work through the list, I need to tell you about the number 1 exercise right away, because the research behind it is genuinely astonishing. A clinical trial from Kyoto University found that seniors who performed this single movement for just 8 weeks increased their quadriceps strength by 89% and improved their balance scores by more than 70%. Participants who could barely cross a room at the beginning of the study were climbing stairs independently by the end. The results were so strong that Japanese physical therapists now consider this exercise the gold standard for elderly rehabilitation. Make sure you stay until the end, because I've saved the most powerful movement for last, and it could truly change your life. Before we begin, let us know in the comments your age and where you're watching from. We read and reply to every comment, so go ahead and share below. Now let's begin with exercise number 6 and work our way up to the most important one. Number 6. Heel raises with wall support. The 6th exercise is known in Japan as Kakato Age, which translates to heel raising. This movement is performed countless times throughout the day by elderly Japanese individuals, often without them even realizing they are exercising. You'll see grandmothers doing it while cooking at the stove. You'll notice elderly men performing it while waiting for the train. It has become so ingrained in daily life that it happens almost automatically. This simple movement plays a critical role in leg strength after the age of 60. Your calf muscles are often referred to as your second heart, and this is not just a poetic phrase. It is a medical reality. The calf muscles pump blood from your lower legs back up toward your heart. When these muscles weaken with age, circulation drops significantly. Poor circulation leads to muscle atrophy, meaning your muscles slowly begin to waste away. This creates a vicious cycle that accelerates aging in the legs. A study from the University of Tokyo examined 240 adults over the age of 65. One group performed daily heel raises for 12 weeks, while the other group made no changes to their routine. The heel raise group increased calf strength by 34% and improved ankle stability by 28%. But the most compelling result was this: walking speed improved by 19%. Walking speed is so closely tied to longevity that many doctors now refer to it as the sixth vital sign. To perform heel raises the Japanese way, stand facing a wall with your palms resting lightly against it for balance. Place your feet hip-width apart. Slowly rise onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as comfortably possible. Hold the top position for 2 to 3 seconds. Then lower yourself back down with full control. Do not drop. Resisting gravity on the way down strengthens the muscles even more than the lift itself. Japanese physical therapists recommend performing 20 repetitions, 3 times per day. That may sound like a lot, but each repetition takes only about 5 seconds. Spread across the day, you're looking at roughly 5 minutes of total exercise. One set in the morning to wake up circulation. One set midday to counteract sitting. One set in the evening to improve blood flow before bed. Research from Osaka University adds one more powerful tip. Performing heel raises on a slightly elevated surface, such as a thick book or stair step, increases muscle activation by an additional 23%. Just be sure you have something sturdy to hold on to. Now let's move on to an exercise that targets a completely different part of the leg. Number 5. Sumo stance hip circles. This exercise is called mo-ashi, which means rotating or circling. It originates from traditional sumo training, but it has been adapted for seniors across Japan. Today, it is commonly taught in community fitness programs because it strengthens areas Western exercise routines often ignore. This movement targets the hip joints and inner thigh muscles. Think of your hips as the foundation of a house. If the foundation weakens, everything above it becomes unstable. Your hips connect your legs to your torso. Every step, every sit-to-stand movement, every shift of balance depends on hip strength. A study published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science compared Japanese adults who practiced traditional sumo movements with those who followed standard Western leg routines. After 10 weeks, the sumo group showed 41% greater hip stability and 37% stronger inner thigh muscles. Even more importantly, they reported significantly less knee pain because stronger hips reduce stress on the knees. To perform this movement, stand with your feet wider than shoulder width apart and turn your toes outward at about a 45-degree angle. Bend your knees slightly and place your hands on your thighs for support. From here, slowly make circular movements with your hips, as if stirring a large pot with your pelvis. Perform 10 circles in one direction, then 10 in the other. Move slowly and deliberately. Each circle should take 3 to 4 seconds. You should feel your inner thighs, outer thighs, and deep hip muscles working together. If you feel sharp pain or pinching, reduce the size of the circles. Japanese seniors often perform this exercise in the morning. Research shows that hip mobility exercises done early in the day increase range of motion for hours afterward, making walking and stair climbing easier and reducing lower back discomfort. Next, we move to an exercise that focuses on rebuilding one of the most important muscle groups for independence. Number 4. Seated leg extensions. This movement, known as Seriashi, has been used in Japanese rehabilitation centers for decades. It builds quadriceps strength without placing stress on the knee joints. Your quadriceps are essential for climbing stairs, standing from chairs, and maintaining balance. Unfortunately, they weaken faster than almost any other muscle group after age 60. Studies show adults lose 3 to 5% of quadriceps strength every year after 60 if they do nothing to maintain it. A clinical trial from Hokkaido University followed 180 older adults for 6 months. Those who performed seated leg extensions 3 times per week increased quadriceps strength by 53%. Their ability to rise from a chair improved by 44%, and stair climbing speed increased by 39%. To perform this exercise, sit in a sturdy chair with your back supported and feet flat on the floor. Slowly extend one leg until it is parallel to the ground. Hold for 2 seconds, then lower it with control. Alternate legs. Begin with 10 repetitions per leg and gradually increase to 20. Once 20 repetitions feel easy, light ankle weights can be added. Research shows even small weights significantly increase muscle activation. The timing of this exercise also plays a role in how effective it is. Research indicates that performing leg-strengthening movements in the afternoon, roughly between 2 and 5 p.m., produces slightly better strength gains than early morning sessions. This is linked to natural daily changes in body temperature and hormone levels, which allow muscles to perform more efficiently later in the day. Now, let's move on to an exercise that takes a very different approach to building leg strength. Number 3. Modified deep squatting, which means to crouch or squat. It is one of the most misunderstood exercises on this list. In many Western countries, older adults are often told to avoid squatting altogether. The Japanese approach, however, is very different and the science strongly supports it. In Japan, squatting is part of daily life. People squat to use traditional toilets. They squat while gardening. They squat to pick up objects or interact with grandchildren. This constant exposure keeps the muscles, tendons, and joints of the lower body flexible and strong throughout life. In contrast, Western lifestyles have largely eliminated squatting from everyday movement, and leg strength has suffered as a result. A major study from the National Institute of Health and Nutrition in Tokyo compared elderly Japanese adults who regularly squatted with elderly Western adults who avoided the movement. The results were striking. The Japanese group demonstrated 68% greater leg strength and 45% better balance scores. Their hip flexibility was nearly double that of the Western group. These findings challenged the long-held belief that squatting is inherently dangerous for older adults. The key lies in performing a modified version that protects the joints while still delivering benefits. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart near a sturdy piece of furniture or countertop. Hold on with both hands for support. Slowly lower your body by bending your knees and pushing your hips back, as if you are about to sit in a chair. Lower yourself only as far as you can while maintaining control and experiencing no pain. For some people, this may be just a few inches. For others, it may be much deeper. Both versions are effective. Hold the bottom position for 3 seconds, then push through your heels to stand back up. Japanese rehabilitation specialists recommend starting with just 5 repetitions. Each week, add 1 additional repetition until you reach 15. This gradual progression is essential. Your joints need time to adapt, especially if you have not squatted regularly for years. Research from Tsukuba University found that the depth of the squat mattered far less than consistency. Participants who performed shallow squats every day showed greater improvements than those who performed deeper squats only twice per week. Daily practice consistently outperformed occasional intensity. Now we move into the truly powerful movements. Number 2. Single leg standing balance. The second most important exercise is called Katashi Dachi, which translates to one leg standing. This movement looks simple, but it activates more than 200 muscles throughout the lower body at the same time. It is one of the most effective ways to build real-world, functional leg strength. Balance training is critical after the age of 60 because strength is not just about muscles. It is also about the nervous system. Your brain controls your muscles through neural pathways. When you challenge your balance, your brain is forced to recruit more muscle fibers to keep you stable. This type of neural training often increases functional strength faster than traditional resistance exercises alone. A study from Tohoku University compared balance training with standard strength training in adults over the age of 70. The balance training group showed 47% greater improvement in functional leg strength, despite not lifting any weights at all. Even more impressive, the same study found that single leg standing practice reduced fall risk by 73%. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in adults over 65. They are also the most common reason seniors lose independence and must move into assisted living. Preventing falls is not just about avoiding injury. It is about preserving freedom, mobility, and quality of life. To perform this exercise safely, stand near a wall or sturdy piece of furniture. Shift your weight onto one foot and slowly lift the other foot just an inch or two off the ground. You do not need to lift it high. The goal is simply to maintain balance for as long as possible. At first, you may only manage a few seconds. With practice, many people work up to 30 seconds or even a full minute on each leg. Japanese seniors often practice this movement while brushing their teeth or waiting for water to boil. Research from Chiba University found that multiple short balance sessions throughout the day were more effective than one long session. Participants who practiced 3 times daily for 30 seconds each showed better results than those who practiced once daily for 90 seconds. To progressively increase difficulty, try closing your eyes while standing on one leg. Studies show that removing visual input dramatically increases muscle activation. Your visual system provides roughly 70% of your balance information. When you remove it, your leg muscles must work much harder to keep you upright. Now, we have arrived at the most important exercise of all. Number 1. The stand and sit movement. The most powerful exercise that Japanese seniors use to build extraordinary leg strength. This movement has been studied more extensively than any other exercise for elderly leg strength, and the results are nothing short of extraordinary. Remember the Kyoto University study mentioned earlier. Here are the full details. Researchers recruited 120 adults between the ages of 65 and 85 who had significant leg weakness. Half were instructed to perform this exercise daily for 8 weeks, while the other half received standard care. The results were astonishing. The exercise-doing group increased quadriceps strength by 89%, hamstring strength by 76%, and balance scores improved by 71%. 12 participants who needed walkers at the start were walking independently by the end of the study. This was not due to medication or surgery. It was simply standing up and sitting down repeatedly. But why is this movement so effective? When you rise from a seated position, your leg muscles must generate enough force to lift your entire body weight against gravity. Essentially, it functions as a bodyweight squat with one major advantage. The chair provides a target and a safety net. If you lose balance, you can simply sit back down. This sense of security encourages seniors to challenge themselves more than they would with freestanding squats. A follow-up study by the same research team examined why this is so effective. They found that it engages not only the major leg muscles, but also deep stabilizing muscles around the hips and knees. These stabilizers are often ignored in conventional exercise programs, yet they are essential for maintaining functional independence. To perform this correctly, sit in a sturdy, armless chair with your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Cross your arms over your chest. Lean slightly forward from your hips and push through your feet to stand up without using your hands. Pause briefly at the top, then slowly lower yourself back down. The descent is just as important as the lift. Research from Keio University found that emphasizing controlled lowering increased strength gains by an additional 24%. Japanese rehabilitation protocols recommend starting with 10 repetitions, each performed slowly, roughly 3 seconds to stand and 3 seconds to sit. Perform this twice daily, in the morning and evening. Each week, add 2 more repetitions until you reach 30. Studies show that 30 repetitions twice daily provide maximum benefit. Beyond this, fatigue increases without added strength gains. Once 30 repetitions feel easy, you can increase the challenge by holding light weights against your chest or using a lower chair. Research from Osaka Medical College shows that lowering the chair by just 4 inches increases muscle activation by 33%, but only attempt this after mastering 30 reps on a standard chair. Timing also matters. A study from Taka University discovered that performing this exercise immediately after waking produced the greatest improvements in daily functional ability. Activating leg muscles first thing in the morning appears to set movement patterns that last throughout the day. And there you have it, 6 exercises that Japanese seniors have relied on for generations to maintain and even double their leg strength after 60. From simple heel raises that improve circulation to stand and sit movement, which restores independence. These movements reflect centuries of wisdom now validated by modern science. The beauty of these exercises is how accessible they are. No expensive equipment, no gym membership, no hours of dedication required. Research from the National Center for Geriatrics and Gerontology in Japan found that performing all 6 exercises takes just 18 minutes per day. 18 minutes to double leg strength, reduce fall risk by over 60%, and maintain independence for years longer. Start tomorrow with exercise number 6. Master it for a week, then add number 5. Gradually work your way up until you are performing all 6 regularly. Your future self will thank you for every repetition. I'm curious, which of these 6 exercises excites you the most? Have you already tried any of them? If so, how long before you noticed real improvements in leg strength and balance? Drop a comment below and share your experience. We also want to hear from you. Has anyone you know struggled with leg weakness or balance issues after 60? What strategies or exercises have helped the most? Share your insights. We love hearing your stories. Thanks for watching, and here's to stronger legs, better balance, and more independence at any age.